Well, it's a pleasure to catch up with our next guest. He was just down at the Senior Bowl and getting ready for the NFL Combine. He had an unbelievable 4 years at the University of Maryland. But most importantly, I appreciate Dante Trader that unlike everyone else in the Maryland lacrosse fan base, you're not livid with me for my call of Keegan's game winner on Saturday. I work for Loyola. It's just what it is. You know, I'm a Maryland guy too. But it was going to be a big win for us. It
Yeah,
was going to.
you gotta protect yourself, protect your job at the end of the day. You can't show your true colors, but
I
overall,
appreciate
did good, smooth.
I appreciate you, bro. It's always good to talk to you, man.
Yes.
Dante Trader, of course, is who's with us. Dante, I just wonder for you, like you're down there in Alabama.
Yeah.
Do you have like a moment of feeling where you say, "Holy crap, this is real"? Like, I know you haven't put a jersey on yet, you haven't heard your name called, but like talking to all the GMs, all the teams down there, being on the field around all that, do you have like one of those pinch me moments like, "Yo, this is the dream that I dreamed. I'm living it now."
And it's crazy because I was trying to wonder before I went down there when that moment was gonna come. It was on the plane.
Really?
Yeah, like you get into the airport and you seeing guys with school backpacks and everybody's taller, and then you see the whole airport looking at. It was like we're all funneled, the same boarding group. So you're like, they're all going to Alabama. Like he's like, all right, these are all the guys I'm gonna be either on the team with or competing against. I said, okay, this is real. This is yeah. So then when we land in Mobile and the Senior Bowl people are there and you just got a flock, it's like 30 guys that came off that plane. And I'm like, okay, like this it's real. And it started to hit me. You get that feeling, and it's like, all right, it's time to go. But like once I had like got there and you kind of warm up, like even talking to the teams and talking to the scouts, it's like, okay, you already had that establishment, that aha moment, that like, whoa, like I'm here now. So like you kind of just relax. So I kind of
Okay.
gonna be then, or like the first time I stepped on the field, but it was more like when I got on the plane.
I mean that's wild, right? Because like I can imagine you looking around. Is there a part where you're like, wait, I'm one of them? Like, do you have to go through that where you're
Yeah,
like,
like everybody has to go through that. I mean, if they, you know, man, I'm proud of you if you can do it without having to go through that. Like your level of like just, tunnel vision is good. But me, I'm like, I came so far, and that's all that was. It was no nervousness, it wasn't no doubt on my own time. It's like I came so far and never would have thought that I would have been here. But my process and you know the trajectory that God allowed me to go to where I am is just like I did it. Like I'm here. Like I'm really here. So it was really one of those moments, like you looking back on your journey, and it's like, man, they don't know what I went through and the valleys and peaks just to get here. So
you talk about those valleys, those peaks, right? Like, and really even within the 4 years at Maryland, but before that, McDonough from Delaware. Do you feel like your path has maybe better prepared you for this, like this job interview, this grind that even after whenever you hear your name called, like nothing's going to be given to you? Do you feel like you're in a different place? And I know from all the conversations we have, like you're about as sharp as a human being as there is. But like, do you feel like that you're in a better place than maybe some other guys would be for handling all of what's about to come your way in the next 6 months?
yeah, most definitely. I wouldn't say like, comparing anybody's life, like I'm more prepared or less prepared than anybody else. Everybody has their own race to run. But in terms of mine, like I gained the endurance and the resiliency from those years. And that's what this whole process is. Like, teammates, oh, this is gonna be the longest year of your life. Like you go from the fall to this process to another season, and you don't have a break until around this time come next year. So it's just like, those trials and tribulations that I had at McDonough School and learning about mental health and learning about those battles I'm gonna have to deal with, and then going into college, like, playing the two sports and getting the mental toughness and the ups and downs, the injuries, and playing on a Maryland football where you had some teammates, pass away, you had losing seasons, winning seasons, like then you were able to play multiple, fronts, multiple schemes. Like you just get a combination of all types of things in life that you don't necessarily realize until you're out of it. So now I'm in this process, and you realize like I'm well balanced in a lot of things because of my process from college. I mean, from high school to college. If it's on the field, off the field, in my head, everything has shaped me to have, a good foundation to me to weather the storms that I'm gonna face. You know, like you're gonna have to go through a storm. You're gonna be either going into one, in one, or coming out of one. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all this process is. Like one day you go up training, get nicked up, you got to deal with that. Like you got some stuff going on back home while you're in this process, got to deal with that. Like you having some wins, got to deal with that to be able to
Hmm.
not be complacent. Like there's a lot of things that you got to deal with, positive and negatively, you know, that if your experience and what you went through in your old times didn't prepare you for that, you won't be able to last. So I know it's a long answer, but
No, dude, I love that. Like, I love that, and I appreciate the thoughtfulness of it. He's former Maryland safety Dante Trader. I hate saying former. I don't like that, but he's former Maryland safety Dante Trader. He's with us here on GCR. When did you know? Like, I remember talking to you in the spring, and you were talking about why you weren't going to play lacrosse again, and it was clear that you were thinking about this part of your life. But when did you realize this part was going to be real? Was there a moment? Like, did you get a call from somebody who said, dude, I'm talking to these scouts. They love, like, was there a game? Like, did you have a moment where it hit you like, this isn't just a dream. This really is going to be part of the rest of my life?
it was more like little divots of that first year of starting. So 2022, and it was with Belgrade, and I had a pretty good coming out year, solid for the first year starting. And I'm like, okay, you play against CJ Strouds and all these great teams, and you're going against the best competition in the Big Ten, Michigan, and all these teams. You like, I'm balling in these big games. You know what I'm saying? And my coaches are telling me this, and I'm going against guys that are projected this or this, and I'm like with them. I'm like, okay. Like you start to get that little sense of I like to be ton of it. I like to be totally humble and just be chilling. Like, I don't like to think about
Hmm.
stuff like that, but you kind of do. Um, then go into lacrosse season, do what I had to do. And then I'm just like, one, the body takes a lot of that. Like you have no break. So then you're just like, okay, a mixture of I can do this. And a mixture of like your body is like, okay, you gotta make a decision. Like you always had a dream of going to play in the NFL, and now that it's looking promising, I gotta go. And the only way I can go is if I take some weight off of me and get a true off season and heal and recover. You know what I'm saying? So it was a mixture of a lot of things.
You, of course, are known for like a lot of, besides just the on the field stuff, what you do in meeting rooms, right? Like the way that you help led your football team, right? Where did that stuff come from for you? Beyond Dante Trader, the athlete, where did that side of you come from? The leadership, the guy that was known for everything that you were doing to help prepare your team during the course of the week.
It was natural. It's always the leadership always came natural to me. Like every phase, most of the 90% of the teams I've ever been on for every sport, like and even in school, like if I was in a group, like I like to take charge. It was just a natural thing. Like I just want to put, if there's any pressure to put it on me. And I feel like I do what I preach, and like I'm pretty straight on in a lot of the factors of my life. So I feel like you know, have the qualities to be a leader before even being a leader. And then coming into school, like, I'm looking how leaders are leading, and I'm like, man, I wish I had somebody that I could truly follow. And this was like early Maryland.
Hmm.
So I was like, when I get the chance, it's gonna be by fire. I'm gonna figure it out, but I'm gonna learn every individual and how I can push them because that's how I wanted to be leaded. So I kind of took how I wanted to be leaded and then put it into that. So every time I went back, it was like, okay, what would young Dante need? Or what would young Dante need a leader to do for him? And that's kind
Wow.
of how I modeled my leadership. So once I got into it, things started to work and people started to gravitate towards me. And then I realized I can do this. But then I have like people in my life, like, Coach Ryan Davis, my strength coach, and Brian Williams, DC, and even my position coach, Coach Spav, like they teach me how to be a leader, giving me nitpicks, and I can go talk to them about some tough times I'm having. Like leaders have the toughest times. Like leading is not easy. People think it's just cut. No, it's very hard. But all that came from like how I wanted to be led.
Do you feel like that's something that teams know about you as you go through like when you're down there,
Oh,
are they recognizing like that's what you're all about? And do you feel like that's something that you're going to bring to the next level, even maybe as a rookie, even as a young guy who's just
Yeah.
supposed to come in and be like, I'm happy to be here. Do you feel like you could do that at the NFL level?
Oh, for sure, for sure. And it'll be a little adjustment. Like I'll have to adjust. These are grown men you're talking about. We're grown in college, but it's even more grown men. Like they got damn.
Yeah. Millionaires, like
Yeah, like
legit. Yeah.
you can have from 20 years old to 40 years old. It's a big jump. So that leadership's gonna, some of it's gonna translate, but a lot is gonna change because the culture changes. But yeah, when I went down there to Mobile, like they kind of knew, especially from talking, scouting me and inside of Maryland. People speak highly about my leadership qualities, and I don't do it for that. It's just natural. I just like to be the head of the snake. If you're gonna bash somebody, bash me because I know I can take it and get the stuff done. So it was more of it, one being natural, and two like people around me speak good on me. I don't know, like I
Dude,
that's just
you've got a serious reputation for that, and that's a good thing. Like that's obviously like it's the exact type of thing that you want people to be saying about you, but it's because it's real, and I think
yeah
that's significant. I do think the really cool thing, and I got to remember, it was the Jason Witten Man of the Year award, right? Like, and I know you didn't end up being
yeah.
the one, but just going as far in that process, what all of the things that you've accomplished, I would have to think that would have some sort of special meaning because again it goes beyond just natural gifts or something that you do on a field.
Yeah, those awards, like, they're cool and all, like, they're cool and all to me, but again, like me, I've never done it for that, and like the one, I didn't even know about those awards, so like it's all genuine from the heart. Like before I did all that, like backpack drives, I speak in the
Yeah,
community, speak back home. Kids DM me all this time. I work with a nonprofit back home called Off Street Sports Performance. Like we mentor under underprivileged youth that are at risk. So we offer like tutoring, we offer training, we offer a lot of things just to get them, in a good trajectory if things are going wrong at home. So it's always been since I was young though. Um, so it's just like that's just how I am. Like I like to give back because there's always people in people's lives that, help them elevate. So why not give back? That's the best thing to do.
I love that, man. All right, so let's talk about how it's funny because when I was doing Loyola Maryland, I was thinking last week, like Jared, obviously, before you. Will Yateman years before
Amen.
that.
Yeah.
On the flip side, Loyola, of course, Pat Spencer playing in the NBA.
Yeah.
Like, are the best. Is there something about lacrosse that just makes athletes better? Is there something that translates that allows you to improve from sport to sport?
I don't know. I that's a hard like I would say that if there was a lot of players that did it.
It's still a
Uh
pretty small group. You're
yeah,
right.
yeah, it's a small group, but if it was a lot of players, you could say that. But and it's different for everybody. Like you just have to have that. You gotta be crazy to be able to do it. But two, you just I just think the drive of lacrosse players allows them to have success in other sports, if that makes sense.
No, I think it makes sense. I think the crazy part about you is you're a little bit different. You were a D midi. Like you were killing people. You were like was part of that like again the parallel between the way that you play safety and how there's no fear. Like we watched you play. There is no fear to your game. Was there a parallel between doing those two things for you?
I mean, yeah, I definitely say the football helped me translate to knocking people out in lacrosse, which I tried to do if I could without getting a penalty. Someone wanted some of those penalties back. But yeah, I'd say like the football translation like to lacrosse was like my tenacity and the confidence. Like I was out there, like we had a thing called Joker, like it's like an unfavorable matchup if a D-man got on like the number one guy. I used to like Coach Bernhardt's gonna know now. Like I used to purposely switch off a pick so I could get on to the guy. And then I used to tell like Makar and Zap not to help me. Like I'm like, bro, do not slide to me because
Yo.
I don't like playing off ball. And like most of them never slid if you watch the games, but they didn't have to. But it was just yeah, like that confidence and the tenacity transferred. And then like lacrosse to football, I would say the mentality and mindset of like because lacrosse is very mental. Like you got to be like if you the best player cannot be confident and he'll miss. They'll get caged. He'll drop balls. Like he just won't be there. And then like the running aptitude and there's just a lot of things and mentally in that game that could throw you off. where it's like that will get exposed. In football, like I could be not confident the ball not come my way and I
Right.
would be fine. Or like I can be not as message. I don't have to prepare and I can be fine. Lacrosse is not that way. You will get exposed. You're gonna touch the ball in some way. It's just gonna happen. You will get exposed. So I think the lacrosse allowed me to have like some resiliency in like football because definitely like defensive back, like you're on an island and it's just a lot. Like, but it kind of like plays both in hand, like the confidence. So.
When I bring up those guys, I do you think at all, is there any thought in your mind like I should keep trying to pick up a little bit in case the Olympics, like that's a thing. Like, do you have any thought about that, or is it totally like, no, dude, I can't spend 3 seconds doing anything other than preparing for my life in the NFL?
Yeah, it's just all football. Like,
Yeah.
if, if I'm old and still got it after like, I'll go play D mid. Like, I was an offensive guy my whole career, but the reps you lose of not hitting the wall and shooting, that you could lose some of it.
Yeah.
I could, I could still go shoot, but that ball whips around, and I don't got time to be dropping passes and not be sharp with my passes. So
I get it. I get it. I completely understand. And I think you're going to be all right for a long time. So I don't think
yeah.
it's something you're going to have to worry about too much. Like when you go through this, what's the thing that maybe you still think people don't know about you? Like maybe your reputation is what it is, the film says but is there something that you still don't know that GM scouts, teams realize about you and the player that you're going to be at the next level?
I think they pretty much know and ask scratch all the areas to find because one, my I was pretty clean and people can just see, and I put it all out there. But I would just say the level of like competitiveness and my drive is like you have to see those things in person. Like they got a glimpse of like some of the things like, you know, me, I kind of say myself as like a pest or alley cat, like, and to make that make sense, like one, you can't kill me. Like you could put me in many situations, you may get me like, but like I'm gonna always find a way to land on my feet and always find a way to win. And that's just because I can been scratching and clawing all my life. So you'll never have to worry about me giving in or giving up. So like just whatever position you put me in, whatever, like I'm flexible, like I can make it out of a lot of stuff. And that's just it. And then my drive to just get better and be a best competitor, like whatever coaching, like you can't break me. Like you say you do this, do that. Watch. You
Hmm.
can come back after hours. I bet you'll see me working on it, or come back in the morning. I'll be work like it's just that level of drive. And like I just hate to be terrible at something. Like I'm competitive at everything. Like whatever phase of my life you want, if it's a card game, you beat me, like I'm gonna go watch some tape, some YouTube on how to get better, and I bet you the next time I won't. Like
What's your
I'm that
okay?
like
What's your go-to card game then? Like
I don't play
what's
cards, but I
all
play chess.
right, all right.
I play chess though.
So
But
did we talk about because I remember there being like a chess tournament,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, we talked about that. Yeah,
Who won the chess
yeah.
tournaments?
Chance beat me.
Yeah, that's
Everybody knew it was
fine.
gonna be between me and him, and like, yeah, you kind of lose your focus a little bit. I was just like, it's different than playing on a board,
Yeah.
staring at a screen for like 3 hours, and like, I'm sitting there like. I was mad. Like I was mad. I was like, bro, I missed some moves to beat him, and I was just like, I rewatched the game. I said, bro, it's all good though.
Okay, so are you like that no matter what you're doing when you compete? Like do you not have like the off switch? Like if everybody's throwing like cornhole or throwing frisbee, like are
Oh,
you
don't even get me started on cornhole. Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
be on the board all day, and like, I'm one of those sponges too. Like, if you better than me, or even like something, if I don't think you're better than me, like I'm still watching. Like, okay, like he has this throw and it kind of works for him. Let me try it. If it works and it
You
makes me
do it.
better, man.
I love it. I love it. I love that, man. All right, so we know that last year didn't go the way that you guys wanted it to go. We're aware of
For
that,
sure.
right? Did that, what do you take from something like that? Does it go back to what we talked about before, where like, hey, even that's a learning experience, even that helps with the way that you build and you deal with that. But like, what do you take from a year that clearly didn't go the way that you guys wanted it to as you continue on this
It
process?
teaches you a lot of lessons, and the biggest lesson it teaches me is being solution oriented, right? You switch a mindset because when you when you go 4-8, you gotta you gotta get back to you're gonna be questioning, do you want to do this? Why am I doing this? How am I doing this? Like am I wasting my time with certain things? Like stuff is not working. You can easily give in to all those thoughts that come through everybody's head when
Yeah.
you're losing. And that's normal, right? And then you got to switch out of that poor me and you're in it. You signed up for it. Like when you signed up to play football, they didn't say, "Hey, you're gonna win X amount of games." You sign up to compete every game, one game seasons every week, right? So regardless of the outcome, like I learned you got to stay solution oriented. So it's like, okay, we lost this game. You can sit there and be mad about it, or you can figure out how we're going to get better if it's on and off the field, what's going on. And each week you keep doing that. Then you build habits and build resiliency in your brain to know, like, okay, even when something off the field happens, it's like, yeah, I can be mad about it for 3 weeks, but I'm not going to get nothing done. I'm getting nothing progress out of it.
Mhm.
Can't change it. Rather being solution oriented. Okay, how do I change this? How do I be better? How do I get out of this quicker? Right. Once you have that progress and growth mindset, it affects all like aspects of your life, and that's kind of like the biggest thing I take away. Like, and it's like it's normal. Like it is kind of funny. Like you know the fans be on you like negatively and positively. That kind of shapes you too. Like life is hard. Like if you ain't producing, like
Can you block it all out, or do you want that? Are you like
let's be real. Let's be real. As an athlete, like if you delete social media, which like during the season, like I got off of Twitter, I got off of
yeah,
like this stuff because like you're gonna see it.
yeah.
Um, it's normal. It comes with it. Like we get to be in a position where people are talking to you, talking about you. Like people will beg and like, you know, strain to get to where we are. You know, like we're in a good position that people are talking about. It's like positive, negative. Like it is what it is. You're on a natural stage. It happens. Like that, but people don't understand that bridge of like, we're human too. Like I bet some of you can't come do what we do.
Yep.
Like, but like we know it comes with it.
Bro, I talked about like, even I called a game on Saturday and there are people that didn't like my call. And like, it's natural. Like, you
It's
can't,
not like it comes with it. It
right.
comes it comes with it. And like most athletes can block it out, but some of my youngins had like problems like blocking that stuff out. Like they were saying about them and this and the third. I said, listen, they're gonna hype
Yep.
you up, and punch you when you down. That's just sports fans in general. I said, don't read too much into it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, worry about you, be straight on. So
I appreciate that. All right, quick ones. I know you're a McDonough guy. You were always busy on Friday nights getting ready for your own games. Did you ever get to watch like a McDonough Spalding game? Did you ever get to see Malik Washington play? I know that everybody down there is like losing their minds excited about him. I got to call some of his games. That kid's special. And did you think at all about maybe doing like a fifth year in order to get a year to play alongside that dude?
this year, no,
Yeah.
no,
All right, you
none.
were good.
I
You're
was
good.
none. But
Yeah.
yeah, I got to see Malik play. I got to see a couple of other Terps ships and
Yeah.
Delmar is an underrated talent. Y'all got to look out for him. He's a beast. That was one of the kids I was like, whoa, who is this? I was like, Coach, we got to get on this guy. But he was already in the run for Maryland. Um, but yeah, I got to see Malik and he's talented, very talented. I wish he was a little there when I was there so I can sharpen him how me and Talia used to go back and forth playing chess and football. And you kind of make yourself better and he throw a good ball on me. I get a jump on the ball here, this and the third, and we learn and I could teach him what I know so he'd be able to be projected. But he's gonna do pass the test with flying colors, man. Sky's the limit for Malik and I wish him all the best. He's a mass
That's
competitor. They're
cool.
gonna see.
Spanos on Saturday. Is that the moment for him? Like, is he the guy now? Like the alpha? Because we talked about like last year, they made that run without having like a Logan or a Bernhardt. Can he be that guy now moving forward from here?
Yeah, I feel like any guy in that offense really like can be that guy. It's just, you know, who who wants it. They all want it. I'm not saying they all want it, but being the guy is not easy. Like
Yeah.
being a Wisnowskis or Bernhard or Brett Makar or Logan Manini is not easy because a lot of pressure's on you to make plays. But yeah, he showed, pretty good skill. They got some good transfers in there that I like. And then, when Ursa gets going,
Yep.
Urska Urska's gonna go, but Mr. Consistency is definitely Daniel Kelly.
All right. And now the most important part, because Kohler and I got into a fight last week because he was like, y'all in Baltimore already got Bo Braid. Like, you can't have both these dudes. We need to have him in Washington. And I was like, no, no, no. Selfishly, I need because we loved having Bo here. Like, Bo's a 10 and a half. He's one of the best people. He's great. But we need to have both of you here. We can reunite the podcast in Baltimore. Like, what would that sound like to you if it just happened to work out that way?
Hey, man, I go wherever they want me,
I
man.
know. I
Even
know.
if they let me and Bo be safeties on the same field again, that would be the craziest duo. Man, I'm telling you, there are gonna be some. Hey, the highlight reels from just straight hits.
Yeah, it would be an incredible story if it worked out that way. But I get it. You're about to be a fan of whoever that is. I totally understand. Dante, remind me, everybody how they can follow you now that you're back on, the season's over, and you don't have to block everybody out. Where can they follow you? What can we plug for you, man?
Yeah, on Instagram, Dante Trader, and then Twitter is Dizzy Dante. Yeah, follow me, follow the journey, support the boy. Hit me up.
Dude,
But
look, you understand how this goes. We're always going to love you. If it's Pittsburgh, it's going to be awkward. Like, it's just going to be
hey,
awkward.
man, it is what it is. Fans got to be fans.
It was
I love the chirps.
there was that awkward moment where like Dino was here and it seemed like they just kept grabbing Maryland guys and then Canada was there. We just need that to end. And we just need it to be no Pittsburgh so that we can continue to appreciate you and respect you and love you and not have to say mean things about you that you know we don't really mean.
Business.
Yeah, bro, I get it, man. Dante, you're the best, dude. Thank you for taking the time for us as always, man. Best of luck as this process goes on and we'll be in touch, all right?
Get you, my guy.